yards of gravel in the middle of an unsuspecting suburbanite's lawn if he knows he's overloaded and a way station is coming up that will be open? Suppose somebody like this guy picks me up. Can I really give up the rigid scheduling I'm so used to in real life? Me, the ultimate control freak who plans weeks ahead the day I can irresponsibly eat candy? Sure, I've got all my interstate routes planned out for the trip, and I think I know how many truck stops there are and how far apart they are, but so what? Will I really get out of the car if my ride strays from my route but is still headed west? I keep thinking beggars can be choosers, but I have to open my mind to the possibility I may be wrong. "We are all bums," a radical left-wing poster boasted on the wall of my bedroom in my parents' house in the 60s. I remember the rage this particular slogan caused in my father. A bum. The worst thing you could be in his book. Now that he is sadly gone, can I finally become one? A vagabond? A freeloader? Is it possible to be a vagrant when you own 3 homes and rent another place in Provincetown for the summer? Will this book end up as a new spin on that now dated but incredibly influential 1961 nonfiction book, Black Like Me, where the white author, John Howard Griffin, hitched and rode buses through the South disguised as a black man to see how it feels to be discriminated against? I am afraid, just the way the Black Like Me man was, but of different things, like bad drivers. I'm amazed every person driving their car isn't killed every day. Riding along at high speeds in lanes just a few feet from each other, texting, talking on the phone behind the wheel, or just plain driving while stupid. Nobody is really a safe driver. I worry my own involuntary backseat driving will cause problems for anyone who picks me up. Will cries of "slow down" or slamming imaginary brakes from the passenger side cause bad will with my host drivers? I'm never in the front seat of a car if I'm not behind the wheel, except when I take taxis in Australia, because I read the drivers there think you're snooty if you get in the back. Where I live in Baltimore, if you got in the front of the cab, they'd think you were robbing them and probably shoot you. I've had a good history with hitchhiking. It's hard to imagine today, but in the early 60s, my parents expected me to hitchhike home every day from high school. All the kids did. The roads were filled with preppy teenage boys, lacrosse sticks over their shoulders and their thumbs out. I'm sure just as many serial killers were behind the wheel then as now, but you never heard about them. Nobody warned us of the dangers of hitchhiking. Evil definitely did not seem to be lurking. Of course perverts were out there, and I hitchhiked every day with a heart-on, hoping one would pick me up and give me a blowjob. Many did. On this trip, I guess I'll still technically be horny while hitchhiking, but I may be carrying a Viagra in my pocket instead of an erection. Is all hitchhiking gay? Aren't truck stops and Levi-clad tough guy hitchhikers staples of porn movies? My planned route is I-70 West, and if I'm lucky enough to get a ride going that way, I'll be able to find out if there really is such a thing as the Kansas City Trucking Company. Or was that just the title of a fictitious garage in that classic gay film directed by Joe Gage? I saw the real El Paso Wrecking Corp on my drive from El Paso to Marfa, Texas, and almost drove off the road remembering the sequel. If there really is such a place, maybe I can get dropped off there and make friends. I drove all 5 cross-country interstate routes in the United States when I was a young man and loved it. We used to get drive-away cars, where the owner gave you the keys and you paid the gas and delivered the car to an address on the opposite coast. I even remember singing America the Beautiful, stoned on hashish, with my fellow travelers, David Lockery, Steve Butow, and David Hartman, as we drove toward a beautiful sunset in Minneapolis. Looking back, I'm amazed anyone trusted any of us, considering how we looked at the time. But even though we violated the rules by taking other passengers and drugs, we always did deliver the car in one piece. But come to think about it, we didn't ever pick up a hitchhiker then, and that was in the heyday of the hippie years. And in 2012, I expect someone to stop? I still hitchhike in Provincetown to Long Nook, the most beautiful beach in Truro, about 10 miles away. I usually ask someone to go on a thumbing date with me. Author Philip Hoare, artist and singer Kembra Fowler, the late and great art dealer Colin Deland have all joined me alongside the highway, and we've never had any real trouble either. Once I was hitchhiking with photographer Henny Garfunkel, whose extreme hairdo and stunning fashions can make children cry. And a man did a U-turn and picked us up. Never a good sign. As usual, I got in the front and the woman hitchhiked.